You are live on the Joy News channel on the multi-TV. You're also live on Joy 99.7 FM, live on Love in the Kumasi. We are live on DSTV channel 142 and live on GoTV 144. DSTV is 421 Inkstead, and live on many social media platforms. Hashtag is election headquarters, and shortly you have sent us many of your questions for the presidential candidates. We shortlisted just a few that will be put into them. We'll also get a very quick intervention from the audience here at the University of Professional Studies. This is the Imani Joy News Minority Political Parties Debate, and thank you all for joining us. This time you could give yourselves a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, in the auditorium. Final round of questions. I will go straight to a sector that has become very crucial with the pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic has heightened the need for digitization in all facets of our lives. Now, the one critical resource for ensuring digital inclusion is internet data. Now, this will require reforms in our data pricing and regulatory regime. Now, Ghana is considered one of the most expensive countries when it comes to obtaining a license for spectrum, such as 4G technology. Now, how would you ensure that affordable data and internet access is available for every home and business? I will start with you, Madam Jubenu.
Thank you. Indeed, COVID has shown us that we do need to rapidly develop our digital economy. And the one way that our government will deal with that is to partner with the telecoms industry to ensure that we spread out digital access to most of our districts. We can do this. People have asked how it is done. We have the CST tax that, which the CST and the other tax that is on the electronics. I can't quite really come up with the word, but electronics tax that will enable us get access or send access to the digital technology into the districts all over Ghana. One way we can ensure is to make it cheaper is when there are more people accessing the technology. And of course, that would mean if we get into the districts, then we are making it accessible to our schools who today are at home while the rest of the world is going on.
Thank you very much. Mr. David Apasara?
Yes, what we need to do is to create centers where people can easily access even the internet. We have to have internet facilities in our public schools and in our communities where people can easily access them. And also, we have to support service providers to have the required infrastructure that will help transmit these IT to these centers. So certainly, we are going to partner with the technical bodies that will ensure that this is an easy access to the Ghanaian people. Certainly, we would have had a better option if we had our own system, like we had the telecommunication system, but that is out of our way. We can generate one that will answer the needs of Ghanaians.
Thank you very much. Data is very expensive in Ghana, Mr. Hassan Erika. How do you create digital inclusion? What's your proposal?
Yes, first of all, we need to regulate the taxes on internet service providers to give them a little bit tax holidays to be able to provide internet access and to build a proper infrastructure for the internet providers. Secondly, we also need to look at boosting the internet system. Most likely in the villages where you go, there are no internet links and linkages. So we need to talk to all these giants in this country, reduce their taxes, promote wide coverage into the villages and communities and boost the system. Even as at now in Accra here, you make a call and then it tells you that the person is out of coverage area. So we need to support them, help them with digital packages for especially communities so that we reduce the internet services and charges. It's very expensive. Bundle is very expensive now. And it's the most expensive in Ghana. No, sorry, in the world.
Okay.
So we need to cut down on that. It's very expensive in the world.
Mr. Greenstreet.
Well, we will abolish the communication service tax. We would rather there be an ad valorem tax on each mobile phone unit. Each mobile phone has a unique number. I believe it's called the IMEI number, which can be utilized to take an ad valorem tax on that, even though we will be reducing VAT itself, hopefully down from 18.5%, hopefully down to 10%. But the increase in our data charges has been caused even by government's directive for bundles not to expire. NCA has to undertake a very intensive competition analysis and study. That was what was done in South Africa, and it led to a drop in their data charges by 50%. Ghana Telecom itself, if you remember, was a state-owned enterprise. Prior to selling this enterprise, we sold it off with part of our backbone as well, which is now being utilized by a company, a multinational, who won't even pay us taxes because it's claiming it's not making a profit. A greater vision should have been applied about the future, which should have been very obvious to the government about that time. And if they had thought it through carefully, they would have made a far different decision and a more nationalistic decision to protect our future as a nation in this key area.
Thank you very much. Mr. Palu.
LPG would put people's life first through technology. We are going to deploy broadband across the country, nationwide. And we will make Wi-Fi free in every secondary school, all tertiary institutions, and as well as the basic schools. We will make sure all our libraries, we have free Wi-Fi. So that's what we want to do, because we believe we are in a knowledge economy. Without knowledge, you are out. So we want our people to have access to technology and to have access to knowledge and to have access to everything so that they'll be able to compete with their counterparts across the globe.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to end now. This is because of time. I want to go to the last major sector, and it's an important area of political unity.
And then we'll go on social media also to take your questions that you've posted already. But this one, many Ghanaians clamor for a viable third force in our democracy. However, since the turn of the Fourth Republic, the cumulative votes gathered by minority political parties has not exceeded 13%. Indeed, many Ghanaians wonder if you do not know deep down your hearts that you cannot, by your individual strengths, win the 50 plus 1% of the votes required to be president. Now, this leads many to one critical question. Why won't all of you or the parties come together to forge a third force to topple the duopoly we have now, and what is actually standing in your way? I'll start with you, Mr. Greenstreet.
Well, I think this is a very difficult question to answer on the 16th of October, 40-something days before the December 2020 election. So I think we can have that theoretical discussion perhaps on another occasion. But at the moment, therefore, what is important is the people of Ghana who love my brother Kofi Akpaloo should give him their votes. Those who love Ivor Greenstreet and the CPP should give me my vote. Those who love Hassan Arega and my brother Apasara and Bridget should give them their votes, and prevent these two parties from getting what they want. We must give the NDC and NPP an electric shock come December 2020. They have to learn that Ghanaians are not happy with them, they're not happy with their performance, and they have to be removed.
Ms. Akpaloo. Audience, you're still reminded about our code of conduct. You'll get the time for clapping and cheering very soon. Ms. Akpaloo.
I'm 100% certain that I will win the 2020 elections. And I will win it hands down, regardless of MPP, NDC domination. we will win 2020 elections. Because Ghanaians are fed up. And they have been waiting for the right time. And the right time is 7 December 2020. They are going out there to vote massively for Kofi Akpaloo and his LPG team.
Madam Bridget Ogbenuku, 50+1, you're sure you're going to get that?
Well, we are here to campaign and to ask you to give us that 50+1. But if not giving us that 50+1, it's a journey, and we hope that with this, our attempt, you will hear us and know that we will be able to make a difference in the governance of our country as well as the other two. And we should be able to be the third. In fact, in 2016, we were the third party, and we will be the credible alternative to the other two come December 7th, 2020. Now, what I'll say is, you ask why we won't come together. We allow divisions amongst us. We allow the two parties to interfere, and we cannot have that. But in saying so, we believe in an inclusive government, and we dare the other two parties that whoever wins should include any of us in their government and see how it runs. It's a group of ideas we are bringing together to help us get the Ghana that we want.
Thank you. Mr. Apasara, what's standing in your way?
Yes, I think that it is quite a difficult thing. It's a human factor when political parties are there and they can't come together. And I think that if you look at even the major parties, the bigger parties, the two, what is the policy difference regarding most of the issues? It's one. But Ghana, we said, when Kwame Nkrumah said one party state, we said no. And so we have a fragmentation of political parties, and that is our main issue now. But the truth about it is that a party that is so unwieldy cannot run this country well. You need a party that is not so unwieldy, and then the weight of the party cannot stop you from fighting corruption. The two major parties, they can't fight corruption because the party is weighty. Their numbers, look at Britain. Look at the number of the Labour Party who are Labour Party members, and look at the number of people who are the Conservatives, not up to 1 million, and they are able to run. Okay. So we are going to come this year's election, vote PNC, and you will see a difference. All inclusive governance, and we will fight corruption without any consideration.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ayariga.
Very simple. You're part of the reason why we are not getting what we are getting.
I am?
The media.
Okay.
You give so much coverage to the NDC and the MPP. And we, the minority parties, are not giving that coverage. Look at it here. We are having minority parties. Where is the NDC? Where is the MPP? That's the point. Vote buying is another. The NDC and the MPP engage in vote buying. And they spend so much money, taxpayers' money, buying vote to win elections, not because they have better policies, not at all. They don't really have policy. They have deceitful promises. We come with policies here. We're trying to put our policies to build a sustainable economy that grows beyond corruption. Yet we don't get the opportunity. You tell us we are not good enough, that we should come together. Yes, we want to come together. Do you give us the opportunity to come together? But I want you to know, the NDC will tell you that you're wasting your vote on Hassan Yarga, you're wasting your vote on, if you vote Hassan Yarga, you'll not win the election. Tell them, I will waste my vote on Hassan Yarga, and let's see who wins the next election. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll now take two quick questions from social media, and a number of you have been listening and participating on our many social media platforms, particularly on Twitter. We're going to be projecting the two questions on our screens, and we'll put that question to our presidential candidates in this auditorium to take these questions on. The first question you see on the big screen is from Afesiabon, and you see it on your screens now if you are watching us on the Journey channel. And what's the strategy in making our Ghana city strong against other currencies? And is using the hashtag election headquarters. And I want to start this round of the question very briefly, again with Madam Bridget Ogbenuku. What is the strategy in making our Ghana city strong against other currencies?
Well, we must produce locally. and buy locally and use locally. More exports and less imports. And we must also use the government's purchasing power to strengthen our local industry. Government is the biggest buyer, and they must patronize our local industry. So when PPP is in power, that is what we intend to do. Strengthen our local industry by buying everything Ghana, and of course investing in our industry so that we do the value-added production here instead of exporting everything at its primary level. Of course, there's also the issue of jobs. Jobs. If you create the jobs for people to work internally, you generate income internally and rely less on foreign exchange.
Mr. Pastor, what's your plan to make the city strong?
Yes, I had said it and I will say it again. Look, we spend so much money on finished products and then we bring it in. And we are lucky we can stop that now. We shouldn't import finished petroleum products. The amounts of money that go into that will weaken the city because we have to purchase these things with dollars. Secondly, we have to industrialize. We have to be able to mechanize our agricultural system and produce the rice that we need in Ghana. We have to engage in feed production, encourage poultry farming in Ghana, and then stop importing finished or poultry products from outside. Once we are able to do all these things, our city will become stable and strong. And that is what we need to do. And that is how we will generate jobs. We don't need to buy even fabric. We can produce it here. Let's support vocational and technical training and set them up and let them, we will create it here and then the city will be stable.
Mr. Hager.
Thank you. Production. Produce to consume, produce to export. When you produce enough, you don't import a lot. We spend billions of dollars importing everything in this country, including toothpick. Now, what we need to do is to regulate the forex bureaus. I don't know why only in Ghana that we have forex bureaus. I will cancel forex bureaus in this country. We don't need them anymore. They are encouraging dollar transaction in this country. Thirdly, government must stop quoting prices or contracts in the dollar rate. We don't need that. We deal with cities. And we must begin to understand that everything must be valued in cities, not in the dollar. We are not in the USA. We are in Ghana. If you put dollars now on this table and you put cedi, everybody will run rushing to take the dollar. We must believe in our city. We must encourage our city to perform. Today, the dollar is $1 to 6 cedis. Where are the fundamentals? What's wrong with the fundamentals today? Are they not weak? Are they not exposing us? What is the MPP government doing?
Yeah.
What is Dr. Baumia? When he said that if the fundamentals are wrong, the dollar will expose you. The dollar is exposing us.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Greenstreet, he says he's going to cancel forest bureaus. If you don't agree with that, what's your proposal to fix the city's depreciation?
Why would you not have a depreciating currency or capital flight if you give Newmont 10 years a tax exemption? Your money will leave the country. Goldfields, your money will leave the country. Vodafone, your money will leave the country. MTN, your money will leave the country. You leave your own indigenous industrialists with nothing. We will take those tax exemptions away from those foreign companies and give it to our local businessmen. We will give them long-term loans with low interest rates to protect their industries, and we will build great Ghanaian empires and business people here. That is the way you protect your own. That is the way you break the colonial economy which we're still practicing here. That is how you get truly beyond aid, not by fanciful words that have been given by these two parties for 28 years. They have failed. It is now time to be radical. It is now time to be nationalistic. It is now time for us to get economic independence for this nation.
Mr. Palu?
The strategy to
Make the currency strong.
okay, one, we have to stop that weekly devaluation of our city. Two, we have to stop pegging or indexing our city to the dollar. And then three, we need to create local capital. We need to have our own capital by way of collective investment. I believe that if we can build a strong capital market, we'll be able to compete with everybody. And we won't be always falling on foreign direct investment, because we believe that the foreigners have the money to invest here. So they will repatriate their returns. They will repatriate everything. And when they are going with dollar. So we need to build the local champions. And once we do that, our CD will always be strengthened. And we have to produce what we consume. We have to depend on ourselves.
Thank you very much. We'll take next question from social media. Next question.
Can I add something?
So
we have to go on
social media. We have to go to social media because
let's stay on social media.
They've been listening and they have questions. Let's take it because we run out of time already.
So this one from Francis Asaze says corruption is no longer a legal issue, but of morality. Corrupt people now use the law to amass wealth for themselves, families, or friends. My question is, how do we instill morals in Ghanaians from childhood to adulthood in order to do away with corruption? Mr. Pasera, we'll start that one with you. I'll give you all 30 seconds to answer.
I have said that when we win, we are going to bring back Ghana Young Pioneers. That program is very useful. The Ghanaian must be educated from infancy and build with a mind against corrupt practices. They must respect integrity and they must respect morality. If we do not have that, everybody thinks that let's get money. You cannot get money without working for it. And this is where we have to begin. Begin training the children when they are young about patriotism, about the need to be morally upright. And then you will have a society that will fight against corruption. This is where we are going to begin with. And then, as I said, so morality, but corruption must be punished.
Okay,
it must be punished.
Thank you so much. Ms. Ayarga, 30 seconds.
Corruption comes in different forms. Corrupt through information, wrong information, bribery, quoting outrageous figures for projects. We need to have attitudinal change. Very important. Discipline. Why are we doing this to our country? We need to punish those who are corrupt. The institutions must be strong enough to regulate and understand that people cannot just have so much when they earn so less.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Greenstreet.
Well, then we must be surrounded by a lot of fake Christians, because we claim to have 70% of the population who go to church every Sunday and worship God. Bow before God, pray, give money, pay their tithes, and this is the behavior that we see in our society. Well, maybe it is a land of Anansi in which we exist. Everybody's pretending. Everybody's a hypocrite. We have to deal with the situation right at the roots, right from the early classroom, and let people understand that hard work, discipline, dedication, showing love to each other is what will take us forward as a nation.
Thank you, Mr. Akpalu.
This question, to me, we've been practicing this since childhood. We've been putting the fear of God in us. But my brother Sanriga said, the media has been promoting. It's like when you watch the TV, you see the Malam sitting there giving money from no work done, you know. And then also the church, the priest, the pastor will be going to the funeral and will be throwing money like something. You know, the way we do things here, when I become president, all these things will stop.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So we in the PPP believe in the free, compulsory, universal basic education. Whilst moral training comes from home, it also comes from school. Civic education, moral training belongs in school. And if you are given compulsory, ensuring that the 2 million children outside of basic education in Ghana right now are actually enforced, their education is enforced, so they remain in school. And the quality of the education is universal from childhood. Then you are teaching them so that by the time they are entering free SHS, as we say, if we quote a certain doctor, if your education fundamentals are weak, your SHS graduates will expose you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we scoured the audience to find one person who may want to ask a question. We found one, and we want to give opportunity to that person to ask the question. You have 10 seconds. You mention your name, straight to the question. Let's go.
Thank you. My name is Francis Isel Kujo. I'm from Non-Communicable Disease Alliance. I would like to know, what will you do different for persons living with non-communicable disease, like myself, to have access to free medical care as stated by the universal health coverage? I would like to know.
Thank you very much.
What will you do different?
I want to start this with Mr. Hassan Ayariga.
Yes, our policy for healthcare is very simple. As you are aware, we spoke about free primary health care, affordable secondary care, and affordable tertiary care. You falls under the free primary health care. We will institute special insurance policy for every Ghanaian living in Ghana. Those who work will get DA cards. Those who do not work will have public cards that the government will provide for them to have proper health care. Our issue on health care is about access, not just proper infrastructure, access to medical care, access to medications, access to blood bank, access to doctor-nursing ratio, access to consumables, access to bed, and access to everything that matters in making sure that right treatment gets to you at the right time. The most important thing is to have right treatment, right time, and then you are safe. Okay. So we will make sure access to all kind of medical consumables get to your doorstep.
Thank you very much. 30 seconds, Mr.
Thank you.
Mr. Ivor Greenstreet.
I'll allude with the answer my brother Hassan has given.
And Mr. Kofi Apalu.
Yeah, we will provide free medical card to unemployed and then the low income earning families. We'll make sure everybody have access to quality healthcare.
Okay. Mr. Bridget, Madam Bridget Bonuku.
Thank you very much. Yes, we need to look at the National Health Insurance scheme again and look at how it addresses people living with non-communicable diseases. But in our policy, we also believe that we must give access to people living with non-communicable diseases to have access to facilities, fitness and health facilities, where we all know that with diseases like hypertension and diabetes, you do need some kind of fitness and health exercise regime. And therefore, we will ensure that that is accessible to people around the country. And of course, the access to the personnel who will help them or who will guide them through these things.
Thank you very much. Madam
Yes, we have a policy that we are going to create a system, an approach, even though there is a National Health Insurance Scheme, but it doesn't cover all this. And so many people have diseases that they can't access. We are going to give that free treatment, free medical access to everybody in the country. Whether your health insurance can cover that or not, we are going to give that free. And that is part of government's obligation to make sure that people who live with such diseases are catered for. We will make sure that we strengthen our health infrastructure. We'll make sure that we partner with private sector. We manufacture the drugs in Ghana and make sure the drugs are low for everybody to get. And I think that we will be able to provide medical attention or care to every
Thank you very much.
Ghanaian.
We've come to the end of tonight's debate, and we will take the closing remarks.
And we'll start with you, Mr. Ivor Greenstreet. We have 30 seconds for us to take our closing remarks.
Well, it's been a pleasure to be here this evening. I would plead with Ghanaians that it is time for them to give an electric shock to both the National Democratic Congress and the New Patriot Party. Enough is enough. after 28 years of going round and round and round in circles. The people of Ghana deserve far more. It is time for us to pursue a socialist path to development. Free SHS is a socialist policy. They praise themselves over it. We need to give jobs to our people. We need socialist policies. We need social housing for our people. We need socialist policies. That is the only way to proceed for development.
Thank you. Mr. Palu.
My government will create jobs, and we are going to have 0% graduate unemployment. LPG government will put money directly into people's pocket. Every child in Ghana will receive 200 cedis monthly child benefit. And those who are unemployed will receive 400 Ghana cedis every month as unemployment benefit. LPG is all about jobs. It's all about work creation. A better tomorrow start right here.
Thank you very much. Madam Bridget Jogbenuku.
Yes, Ghanaians, I know we all are looking for a new kind of leadership. It's been 28 years. So I'll say to the youth, look forward to your future with hope and vote for the PPP and Bridget Jogbenuku. I'll say to the women, look at a woman and know that we are also capable of changing the fortunes of this country. We are doing it in our little ways, and we can do it in leadership. Choose the woman. And I'll say to the rest of you Ghanaians and everybody else, we need something new. We need a new kind of leadership, and that would be the PPP, Bridget Jogbenuku.
Thank you. Mr. Apasara.
I will call on Ghanaians that you have tried 2 political parties in the past. We are still with our troubles, and I would urge all Ghanaians to vote for PNC. Our government will come, and the thing about joblessness will be a thing of the past. Inability to access medical care will be a thing of the past. Inability to have education, free education from day one up to the highest level will be a thing of the past. Ghanaians' living conditions will improve and will bring a smile to every face in Ghana. Please vote that day for People's National Convention, the candidate David Apasera.
Thank you. Mr. Hassan Ayariga, your closing remarks.
I want to thank you and Evans, thank Franklin Kujo for the opportunity, and all those who are here for making it up here. We're grateful for the opportunity given to us. But I want you to know, we have seen the NDC, we have seen the MPP, we've seen their promises and their deceit. I stand here before you and I tell you, you might not see me in your constituency or in your house or in your village, but I speak to you from here and I ask you to make that decision that will transform Ghana and restore back hope by voting for the APC presidential candidate and the parliamentary candidate. We need to rescue Ghana from bad leadership. And that bad leadership, you must be part of the APC wagon for us to change Ghana. I am grateful and thank you very much.
Thank you. And this is a good time for the audience to clap as loud as you want at this point. As we wrap up tonight's Minority Political Parties and Independent Candidates debate live on the Joy News channel, also on Joy 99.7 FM, myjoyonline.com, DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 144, and also on all our social media platforms. I am Emefa Apau.
And my name is Evans Mensah.
And thank you very much for joining us. Hopefully, we get to host the NDC and the NPP on a night like this. Many thanks to Imani Africa and also to Joy News. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's debate.